Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all the beautiful people out there. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. As always, folks, we are damn near 5 months into PulseChain being launched. Can you believe that? We're almost half a year in to PulseChain being out, and we're about 5 days away if you actually think about it, or 4.5. And so I was just going through and just kind of like reconsidering, or not reconsidering, but just looking at all the information that's out there, what's been going on, what's been happening. We're going to take a look at how PulseChain has in fact performed over the last week and just see what's going on overall. So I hope all of y'all are having a fantastic Saturday. As always, we got Check My Pulse in the house. Dos DZ Gloria, hello. Kaisa, Doug, hello, all of the beautiful people out there as well. So, folks, let's take a little gander real quick as we usually do over at gopulse.com. This is a phenomenal website that allows you to access plenty of information, at least for the main part of the Richard Heart ecosystem, primarily focusing on PulseChain, PulseX, Hex on both chains, and the incentive token. So all of these tokens are primarily the ones that we focus on here at this channel as well. So today we can see that the current price is 40463 at the current price of Pulse. Price of PulseX sitting at 40121. Hex sitting at 20837 on PulseChain. Hex sitting at 2033 on Ethereum, and you can see combined we're right about 1.17 cent. So I do see that we have a little bit further gap splitting between the Hex going to Hex on Pulse to Hex on Ethereum. We got 1 to a 2.5. So for every 1 Hex on PulseChain, you get 2.5 Hex on Ethereum. Think about that as you will and how you plan on doing your stakes and what it looks like. The reason why that's important is because even though right now we have the current price of the Hex on two different chains sitting at two different prices, the T-share rate, which is what pays you out in the amount of Hex per T-share that you have, is roughly the same. And so we can see that we're sitting at 29,800 on the Ethereum side, 29,788 on the PulseChain side, meaning it's going to take this amount of Hex in order to get one T-share. For those of y'all who are not familiar with Hex and the protocol of Hex, you can actually lock it up for a time period of your choice, whether it's 1 day or all the way up to 55 days, which is 15 years. And by locking up your Hex, you actually earn something called a T-share. So you're actually giving up, burning your Hex that you have, and in return, you're given a T-share based on the amount of Hex that you gave it and the amount of time that you staked it. So the longer that you stake, the more that you make. And again, that's just something to think about, especially when it comes to the fact that for every 1 PulseChain Hex, you get 2.5 Ethereum Hex. So if you're looking at the math, for every 1 T-share on PulseChain, you could essentially get 2.5 T-shares on the Ethereum side, thereby actually earning you more Hex because, again, you're staked earning double the amount. And so this is just very beneficial for those people who are wanting to accrue more Hex, especially later on down the line, right? A year or two down the line, you can really start taking advantage of these differences between the T-share rate on the two networks. Something to keep in mind is over the last week, let's just see the payout. Let me go and flip this up today. The payout over the last week, we've been pretty steady, right about 6.7, I'd say, on the Ethereum side. Same thing over here is going to be on the PulseChain side. We've been very close to roughly about 6.7, 6.6 as an average as the overall payout. And you can see, once again, today's payout is roughly estimated around 6.63, 6.64. So keep that in mind whenever you're actually having all these fun information when you're making your decision on do you want to stake on the PulseChain network where the fees are probably going to be a little bit less expensive, a lot less expensive, I guess you could break it down that way, and we'll look at it here in just a second. Or do you want to earn double the amount or double and a half the amount of Hex by staking on the Ethereum side and anticipating that they're going to be able to get the network fees under control? In fact, even right now, I would say that the gas fees are very much under control, folks. 7 Gwei. Again, this was sitting at 6 just a moment ago. There you go. Just got back down to 6 while we were on stream. Look, guys, this is an incredible opportunity to be transacting on the Ethereum network. If you have to do any transaction, whether it be starting a stake, ending a stake, sending something through the network, sending something from the PulseChain bridge over to the Ethereum side and needing to claim it, all of these functions, whether it be staking ICOSA or restaking your ICOSA or whatever the case may be, folks, these are the times when you want to go and take advantage. Folks, we're sitting at 5 Gwei. Again, that is absolutely insane to transact on the Ethereum network, and it is due to PulseChain being out. Let's be real with that. No doubt about it at all. In fact, if you actually go to PulseChain and you actually go to gopulse.com/gas, you can actually see how much it would currently cost, just as if we were to be looking at etherscan.io. Currently, in order to send a PRC20 token, it's going to be 2/10 of a penny. In order to actually send any PLS, it's going to be 6/100 of a penny. In order to swap and do any transaction, 8/10 of a penny. And you can see right here, it's still 374x cheaper than Ethereum, while Ethereum is at its damn near low for the gas fee transaction. So that is incredible. This was just over 1,000, in fact, 1,500 the other day, cheaper than a Bitcoin network. So very incredible to be seeing this information. But again, you can see over the last 30 days how pretty steady it's been and pretty consistent it's been, as a matter of fact. So you can pretty much always transact on the PulseChain network very cheaply, very efficiently, and very quickly, as a matter of fact, as well. Going back over here, let's take a little gander at the validators. Whoops. So we have the validators once again. We know this number has been constantly increasing. We're currently sitting at 44,247 validators. Now, the benefit of this validator here and the amount of validators, as a matter of fact, is really the fact that this number has continued to grow since forever. It just continues to keep growing and growing and growing. In fact, we can look at even just this, which is a 7-day metric. Last week alone, we were sitting at 43,908 validators. And even today, a week later, we're sitting at 44,243 validators. So again, within the last week, roughly anticipating an additional 330 validators, somewhere in that ballpark, just coming on, locking up their PLS, earning some rewards as well. And not only do they get to earn the rewards, you can actually go to gopulse.com/validators and see that they're earning roughly about 15.6% APR without having to worry about any of the extra items that come along with yield farming or liquidity providing or any of those metrics. So this is a passive way to earn some additional income if you have the knowledge and fortitude to actually set up a validator. It's not for everyone. I'm not advising everyone go do it. I haven't even done it myself. It's not something that I do intend on doing either. But for several people, you can lock up 32 million Pulse, which is roughly costing about $1,400 today. And you can see how much it would currently cost because the average validator balance is sitting at 32 million Pulse, which is how much you need to actually open a validator. So that's currently sitting at $1,400. And plus, you also have to pay the validator expense as well in order to get a validator. So if you already have a computer set up that can run the system and it's based on only running a validator and you can use it for that purpose, go ahead and put it to use. You know, some people are using validator.store, which is David Feeder's validator channel or validator store, so he can actually help people sell, set up, and manage their validators so that way they can earn this additional passive income of 15.6% APR, which is pretty damn consistent as well since the launch of PulseChain being out. So they've been earning pretty steady here, a little bit above when we first launched, but neither here nor there, still absolutely incredible. You can see on the bridge side, currently sitting at 79,899,000 that have been bridged into PulseChain. 2.5 million have been bridged out. So we still have a good chunk of the majority of people bridging into the item. And that's a great thing to see, especially, I mean, that's almost, let's just do some fun math real fast. Might as well. So 79, 899, 776 divided by, was it 2.42488,536? So 32x more has been bridged in instead of out. So pretty incredible stuff, even including Wrap Bitcoin from the Ethereum network and bringing over roughly 63 wrapped Bitcoin, which has a value of close to 1.7 million dollars. So absolutely incredible stuff to see. Give me 1 second and let me say hello to some more people as well so we can really get this show started and get it going. Hex to the Moon, my man ATX. Hello, everybody. Cookie to Chocolato, much love to you as well. Wonder how much it is to end stake, though. That's usually way up there. I paid $500 to end a 1.5 million hex stake earlier this year. Shake my head. I'd rather stake on PulseChain. Yeah, that's a common topic that a lot of people are saying. And so whenever I talk about staking on Ethereum, it's two different methods that you can really go about using. And let's just kind of start with one of the first methods, which is going to be using the ICOSA or Hedron website in order to get some of this done. So let's just take a quick little gander over here and see if I can flip this. 1 second here, y'all. Flip this back, refresh. All right. All right, cool. So we can go to app.icosa.pro. Again, depending upon what network you're on within your MetaMask or Rabby wallet, it will allow you to see the difference between them both. So currently on this network, we're on the PulseChain network. As you can see, the T-share rate is 29,787. You can actually create your stakes here by doing encapsulated stakes or actually normal native stakes, which is still what I actually end up doing if I'm doing any stakes at all. I know the HSIs have their own benefits to it. I just prefer the native stakes, and maybe we can get into this on later videos as well. But to end a stake right now, let me actually see. There was a nice little, I want to say hexfire.io had a channel or had a little segment on there about what it would cost to estimate to end a stake. And let me see if I can actually go back and find that. And heck, I'll actually pull it up here with y'all as well. So there's plenty of items that are happening. Let me see. Where would it be? Share rate. Where would it be? Staking, liquidity, payout, supply. I wonder if it's kind of behind some items now, because again, now Crispy Man does have Patreon, which it does allow you to open up more items as well. So maybe it's now behind that, so we can find that information out. Let me see if I can just kind of go through a couple of these and see if I see anything that kind of brings the eye to what I'm referring to. Mining data. Here we go. Estimated payout. Let's just see. Can I scroll this over at all? Hex staked, estimated payout, estimated ES, expired end day. Yeah, so there used to be basically there's a whole setup like this that actually would allow the ability to give like an estimated payout of what it would cost to end a stake. So I can't really look at that right now at this point in time, which is all good. So we'll definitely take a little look and see what else I can end up finding as well. See if there's something else that catches my attention on some of these sites. And maybe it's under strategy. No, here we go. Okay. Is it here? Final bid. Okay, that's all for the HSIs and okay, cool. So let me actually see what's going on in some comment section real fast. Say hello to some more people as always. We got Denise saying hey TX or Big GZ. We got saying hey TX, your show is very useful to consolidate info and tutorials for new users. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much. PulseChain bridge not working correctly today. I haven't actually heard or seen anything about that, but let's just take a little gander. If you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, you can actually go to the website. What is it about the website that isn't working, or the bridge that's not currently working? If you don't mind me asking, Doug, if you could give some more information on that, that would be awesome as well. Because again, I haven't bridged anything over in probably about a week at this point in time. So I haven't noticed any difference or anything. But yeah, if there's something I should be noticing, please bring it to my attention. Would love to share it with everyone as well. We got John Neese saying hello, Gloria and Kaisa. What up, everybody? How you doing, John Neese? I noticed the day before yesterday as well, apparently talking with the bridge. Cookie, it worked for me last night. Okay, so they're saying the bridge is still going. Crypto CPT, I'm doing good, my brother. How are you? I lost a comment. I made a comment. I lost a comment. I made on a comment you made on Elon Musk. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure he's got several. All I see is PLSX. Yeah, exactly. I commented and lost it. Perfect. Let me see here. Can't see the comment either. Yeah, it's so weird how technology works sometimes, but all is good. What's up, Crypto Gains Club 369? How you doing, my friend? Going back to the weekly little share of PulseChain real quick and letting everyone know we have the trends that have been. I checked this out as well. I just go to trends.google.com and I'm just typing in the word PulseChain. I do like to see the worldwide search on here over the last 7 days. So again, this is just interest over time. Whoops, this is interest over time here. Give me 1 second, as it should be past 7 days. Let me see if I just flip these. There you go. Past 7. Perfect. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, shoot. It's guys, it's already October and I was just already thinking I'm in November for whatever reason, just FYI. So I saw September down here and I was like, what in the world? All right, cool. So we have some interest. It's been pretty steady, like we've been seeing all the searches per day, anywhere between 20 to 40. I'd say a good average right around 50 if we were to break down the little median on here. Right around 50 searches per day on PulseChain. So it seems like that has still continued to remain high at this point. If you again, you can actually search this by sections. So I like doing the little difference here and seeing United States and checking out what we have there. Again, I'd say half the searches are coming from the US if I'm breaking this down. What do we have for United Kingdom? Here we go. Whoops, not there you go. UAE. What you got? Hey, we got some searches over there in the UAE. Damn, there was one day where it went freaking ham. October 5th. What were y'all doing on October 5th to get searches in the UAE for 100 searches? I wonder what they had going on, because again, you can see that's pretty low, not really breaking above 25 very often. And then October 5th, just for whatever reason, went off that particular day. Let me type in United Kingdom again since I didn't get it selected the first time. There we go. Yep, United Kingdom coming in pretty hot here once again, October 4th. Wow. So I'm wondering, yeah, I mean, wonder what the reason as to what's going on the 4th, on the 5th of UAE and UK, what was going on around that time frame? Because 2 days ago, I don't really recall there being any like crazy news to be mindful of or to be even thinking of. So, yeah, very curious into that one in particular. You see, there's plenty of interest in Wales, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland. So, I'm thinking that particular search for that for the day on that one for subregions would probably be new tokens coming out launched by other creators. Who else do we have? Let me see. Compare. Let's see if Ethereum. I think Ethereum is just going to be way up there though, because it's been out for so long. It doesn't even compare for PulseChain. Yeah. So Ethereum on average still gets. I mean, even in the UK, let's go worldwide here, and I'm sure Ethereum just smashes. So I'd love to see. Look how flat this line looks, right? I would love to see this number start coming up and start mirroring some of these things that you actually have happen as well. Look, it's going to be so freaking cool when we actually get to see all this, y'all. And this is just part of what we have going on. This is just part of the whole journey that we have as well. So plenty of stuff going on, plenty of stuff happening. I would advise anyone wanting to check out this information, you're welcome to go through and check it out. We do have more validators coming on, no validators leaving at this point in time. We do have some occasionally leave. As you can see, we going down from 256 down to 240, and then it goes back up again. So on average, again, being a validator does require that you keep your computer up and running, that you have solid internet the whole time, and just other stuff to make sure you're a little bit more tech savvy. I try looking at dashboard, and for whatever reason, I guess if I don't have a validator, if I'm not there, then I can't necessarily get it. Yeah, let me see if I can do a quick little search on like maybe who is a validator real quick and see if I can do a search that way. Maybe that's a possibility. We're gonna go here. Oh, they exited. Okay, cool. That was 100 days ago. Cool. Let's go here. Perfect. And go back. I'm just checking this. This is the first time I've really kind of like looked at this information on dashboard to see if I can see any information here. So I wonder what we have going on. Okay, cool. So this shows some information that we'd be seeing. Last attestation is going to be attestation would be 5 minutes ago. Still active on this one. Again, earning roughly about 28 PLS on that one each epoch, which again, you can see how fast these epochs come through pretty fast. So earning 28 each time, not too shabby. Got 100% uptime, perfect uptime. Total balance was 32 million. And so far, while they've been here as a validator last day, they've earned 1,400. Wonder how they've earned more in the last day than they have in the last week. I wonder what the difference is there, especially in the last month. I wonder how this actually plays out. Now, there's plenty of stuff to be learning, I guess, because 28 payout per epoch is pretty freaking solid. So, anyways, you can see you can actually come in here if y'all are wanting to find a validator. If you want to see some other information on here, you can definitely come on in and type this in. You could even type them in by certain numbers, so you can look at, I think, all the 1,400 validators that were initially initiated have all dropped their balance on this one at this point in time, and all put the 32 million PLS into the burn address. Speaking of the burn address, let's take a little gander over there as well, if I can, and see if we can do a quick little search here. And let's just type in PLSX burn, because that's always a fun one. Nope, not that at all. Not that at all. So, just talking burn wise, we got 467 billion PLSX burned. Awesome. Currently sitting in the ballpark. I love how you click it and actually flips it. So again, showing USD, we're 5.7 million if you're looking at just the buy and burn function alone. Let me see if I can find out that address for, I know it's a lot of zeros and 369 at the very end. I just don't know how many zeros and 369 at the very end. So let me, yeah, I don't know if I just need to keep typing in zeros on this one until it shows up. Maybe I typed in too many. Yeah. All right, cool. So it looks like we have this address right here. Yep, this is the burn section going on with the PLS burned as well. So you can see it on gopulse.com. Or you can't see it on gopulse.com anymore, which is one of the odd things that I think they took away. So you can still see it if you actually go to scan.pulsechain.com and actually type in this burn address right here, which is all the zeros in 369. The easiest way that I found it was I literally typed in 0x00000, and you could just type in 369. And basically what I did is I just kept adding zeros until eventually I got a matching result. And there's two options. One of them will have a token and one of them will say address. So you can see, if you're wanting to see this information yourself, you would click on the address and not the token. I'm not worried about that token, not even sure what that token is. So I click on address and you can see all the information. So once again, 133 billion PLS has been burned at this point in time, never to see the light of day again. So always some crazy information happening right here. Talking in regards, I didn't get to do my quick little update yesterday in regards to my Pulse challenge. So I'll briefly discuss it with everyone here. But I do advise that if you can have some way, shape, or form to set up a $5 DCA challenge and join the Pulse challenge with me, I'm more than happy to have you along for the ride as well. And again, this is just an additional way to lock in your coins, keep doing something at a pretty easy way and efficient way that you can actually manage this. So basically, ever since September 15th of 2023, I've been doing DCAing into the 4 tokens of Hex on a PulseChain, Hex on Ethereum, PulseChain, and PulseX. You can see at this point in time, I've bought every single day since then. I've invested $115 into Hex on PulseChain, $115 into Pulse, $115 into PLSX, and $115 into Hex on Ethereum. You can see the current coin count as well, sitting at 33,820 Hex on Ethereum, which, by the way, we will be staking when we actually come around to this as well. Whoops. Not sure what I did there. Okay, cool. Whoops. We will be staking when we come around to this as well. So keep that in mind. When we get to a certain number, we will actually be going through and staking that Hex for additional yield to be having that money work for us. Currently sitting at 10.05 million on the PLSX since investing all day, every day. We have 2.6 million on the PLS, and again, 13,949 on the Hex on PulseChain side. So guys, I keep this up and I'm keeping track of the journey. I want to be sharing this information with everyone as well. And the reason why I pull this up and share it with y'all is just to kind of get a better idea of kind of what's going on. So what I like to do is almost compare and contrast. Currently sitting at the average price. Whoops. So this, one of these numbers is, okay, cool. That's correct. I was like, one of them is way off. So I like to almost compare and contrast where I'm currently sitting at on this one. So what I do is I look at the current price on Hex on PulseChain, and again, my average price was sitting at 0.008244. So I already know that once again I am in profit, even if by a little bit. So regardless of what's going on, every single day I'm investing $5 a day into the project. So I'm up 1% on my investment, nothing too crazy by any means, but it's good to continue to do this every day. And the reason why is because on PulseX, for example, my average price is currently sitting at 40114, and we're sitting at 40121. So even though the we may see red candles, right? Like based on what's going on, based on what's happening, we may end up seeing some red candles soon. We already know how this will actually play out. We've shown this in the past in terms of the overall charts, but let's take another little look and see on the PulseChain side how it was last week. So let me get rid of this right there. All right, cool. So over the last week, which would be basically the 1st of October, we'll say, we have been pretty stagnant on that one, right? It got as low as where it is now, and it got up roughly about 2.9%. But y'all have to also understand a couple of things. If you've been keeping track of this, while we're only going up maybe 2 to 5% a week, if you're actually looking at the overall span of it, we've been on a nice little upward trajectory, meaning we could be hopefully have hit the bottom in the bear market on PulseChain, bringing on new higher highs. We've got a double bottom that we formed already in the past, and we're looking at making this into a higher high, higher low situation. So ideally, we really want to get above 4048 would be a good number to hit. Really, 4049 would be like the big number to hit. And then we want to keep on pumping from there. The next level that we would end up going for would be right around this level, which is probably in the ballpark of 405765. So even again, over the span of this little course of time, you are already up roughly about 41% of the money had you been buying or bought on August 27th and had just held it until now. So that's why I say do a DCA strategy. You average in no matter what every single day, and it's a solid way for you to make that investment. Looking at PulseX, take a little gander as well over here at PulseX and see what's going on. We got October 1st as the actual date of when we actually got going. And yeah, currently sitting once again, probably about 2% higher there. We've had some highs, some lows, some candles are moving. We got some big candles forming both ways on positive and negative, meaning that if you see candles pushing down, that usually means we have bearish sentiment still. And we're seeing candles pushed up as well, meaning we could be having some bullish sentiment form. So I love seeing everything that we have going on, folks. These are nice little higher highs, higher lows being made every single week. We've got a nice little increase of what's been happening. So overall, yeah, let's go October for sure. October is what we're looking at and what we're going for. So yeah, let me go back up. Let me see what's going on here. Johnny says, ATX, can you elaborate further on Hex to the Moon comment about ending stake options? Yeah, so John, I'll definitely go a little bit further in depth on that one. So this would make more sense if I guess if you could just transact in general. But if you were to go and end a stake right now on the Ethereum network, I would actually assume the way it works, the reason why people say it's more costly to do ending a stake on the Ethereum network is they're right on that one. And the way it works is the way the Hex contract is designed, it has to calculate every single day that payout per T-share about how many T-shares that you had at that time, the payout that it had at that day, and then calculate all these math intervals every single day that you're staked all the way up until the last almost 4 years at this point in time. So it does add some network computation just by doing that, and it actually ends up being more cost of it actually ends up being more costlier going and doing that and more gas just to do that transaction. So typically right now on the PulseChain side, you saw it just a moment ago, but things are costing less than a penny, we'll say, to do any transaction at all. Whereas even with gas prices currently sitting the way they are right now on Ethereum, which is again sitting at 6 Gwei, which is absolutely fire, folks. That's really freaking good. It still ends up sitting in the ballpark of about 17 to a dollar, 17 cents to a dollar to just do a simple transaction like sending a ERC20 token or sending Ethereum somewhere. And then that number actually goes up quite a bit as you add on other items to it. So if you're staking and you're ending a stake on Ethereum, you have to pay for all the days that you were staked for, and then it has to calculate all that time. So that's why you don't do short stakes in general. PulseChain, Ethereum, short stakes aren't really beneficial unless you have plenty of hex to out earn and earn more yield by staking than it does to cost you to transact. So on the Ethereum side, if you say you staked, we'll say 10,000 hex, and you stake that for a period of 1 year, and you go to end it, and after that 1 year, you've earned, some additional 10%, we'll say. So you got 10,100. No, you have 11,000 hex. That would just be simple math on that one, right? 10% more. So you have 11,000 hex that you've earned. However, the gas fees that it costs to start a stake are probably going to be in the ballpark of, I don't know, we'll say $10. I don't know the exact number or the exact cost. I haven't done it. I haven't started a stake in a little bit, 4 months or so. So I don't know what current gas costs are sitting at. And then to end it over here, you would actually end up needing to end it and pay that fee as well, which can cost anywhere in the ballpark of $20 up to $300. I've seen some crazy numbers before, but when gas fees are very inexpensive like they are right now, you don't typically see those crazy absurd numbers. That's when the gas fees are on Ethereum or somewhere in the ballpark of 40, 50, 70 gwei, 100 gwei, somewhere up there. So until they get the ability to lower their gas costs on the Ethereum network, which is by doing the sharding system, until they do that, Ethereum is probably going to cost more, because even though you had earned 1,000 hex on the Ethereum network during that time, with the current price sitting at 0.003, you only earned in reality a $3 difference. Again, based on the cost and what it is right now. So you paid, we'll say, $100 in gas fees, but you only made $3 in yield. Now, granted, you made 1,000 hex in yield, so in the future it could benefit you still. But that's why you don't want to do a lot of short-term stakes, because it's not going to be as advantageous as if you just do either one lump sum stake where you do it once a year, or you try to plan it almost around the bull cycles, right? 2024, 2025, 2028, 2029, so on and so forth. But that's just kind of like break it down. Whereas on the PulseChain network, fees are just so inexpensive anyways. It's costing less than $1 to start a stake and end a stake and all that stuff. So we haven't really seen, like, even because all the stakes got copied over from Ethereum over to PulseChain. So even for people that are ending those same stakes on the PulseChain network versus the Ethereum network, they're noticing the difference. If it costs $100 on the Ethereum network, it may only end up costing them $1 on the PulseChain network to end it. So you can see that 100x difference alone. You have a chance to earn much more in terms of the yield that you can make and actually be in profit with that yield easier. Because if you did that same exact stake on PulseChain, let's just use the exact same numbers. You stake 10,000 for 1 year, you got 11,000 hex at the end of it all. You use that exact same numbers as to starting a stake and ending a stake. So starting a stake, it may cost you a few pennies. Ending a stake, it may cost you 50 cents. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some numbers, but it still costs less than $1 to transact. However, during that time, you have been earning that 1,000 hex, even at the yield in the price that it is on PulseChain right now. That still earns you $8, and it only costs you less than $1 to end the stake. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of the gas explanation fees. They are working on a system on the Ethereum side called sharding, and it's working to come out sooner rather than later. Now that they've got E2.0 out and other network efficiency fixes that they've already rolled out, it seems like this is one of their higher priorities to make sure that they don't get sent out and pushed out of the play and out of the bull market. Because if the Ethereum price starts shooting up like 5x higher than what it is now, then yeah, that $100 could cost you a $500, right? In that example, because the gas fees are going to be relatively the same in terms of gwei, and the price for Ethereum is way up there, so it's going to cost you so much more. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that, does a good job kind of explaining what you were looking for on that one, John Nice. And hopefully that makes sense to you as well. Denise says October 4th was an emergency alert system. There were lots of conspiracies about it, i.e., black noise, etc. Around the 4th or 5th, too, for some reason. That was around that same day, wasn't it? Yeah, and that emergency alert system, man, that's just one of those weird little things that ended up happening. Um, all right, so what else do we have here? We got Cookie de Chocolate saying, I wasn't able to see the transaction while I was bridging, and it was not showing even after bridging was over. I was glad to see the money in my wallet afterward, though. Yeah, I would want to find out more information on that, Cookie, because it's, for the most part, it's a fairly easy process. I mean, it's pretty generous as well. If I'm, trying to be transparent on that one, I think it's fairly good. But again, it's always tough to know the exact outcome as to what's happening, only because of how it works for all of us. But you should be able to always go at, if y'all ever bridge anything over, and I'll just kind of briefly show you. But if y'all ever bridge anything over on from Ethereum over into PulseChain, keep in mind you can always go up to the transactions tab up here, and as long as your wallet's connected, you can see all the transactions that you've actually done. In this case, I've actually sent 591 DAI from Ethereum to PulseChain, 387 DAI from Ethereum to PulseChain. You can see these are both about a month ago or so, and these were the transaction days. I don't have to claim them when you're going from ETH to PulseChain. They will automatically show up in your wallet, but you will want to make sure that you do have that particular token in your wallet. And then also, if you're going from PulseChain to Ethereum, you will have to claim. So, for example, if I was to come back up here and flip this to, yeah, it's already on the Ethereum network. If I was to come over here and flip this from PulseChain to Ethereum and send over XYZ token, let's just use this as a brief example. Let's just say, sure, I'm just using this as an example here. Say I wanted to send over 5 DAI back over to the Ethereum network. I would have to pay a small little fee here. I would click send. It would say estimated completion time, and I would have to click begin transfer. Now, when it actually goes and does this, there's going to be probably a period of 15 to 30 minutes that you have to wait for the bridge to complete sending that transaction through. And then after that, you will see this item here where it says claim tokens. And that's just the last little step that you'll do in order to claim the tokens if you're going from PulseChain to Ethereum. So hopefully that makes sense. But you should always be able to go and see your transactions. As long as your wallet's connected, it should show you any pending transactions. If it's pending, it will not have a receiving transaction box right here. So you won't be able to see anything with it. And it will take, on average, about 15 to 30 minutes. And you can see estimated completion is about 30 minutes. So keep that in mind when you're actually doing some of these transactions, bridging it over, and all that kind of stuff as well. And hopefully that makes a little more sense to y'all as well. And hopefully that helps answer maybe any confusion that could arise on the bridge. What's up, Hex Bay? How you doing? Peace and love, ATX Crypto. Yo, FY, the payout to validators are done 2 to 3 times per day to their wallet liquid. That's why the balance always stays around 32 million. That site you showed. Got it. Yeah, and I forgot about that. Thank you for explaining how a validator works. And because am not a validator, I forget that last little step. So when you first set up your validator, you're actually giving a validator address that you're going to be sending public on the network, but you also send an address in the system when you first set up the validator. It says, where do you want the payout or where do you want the rewards to be sent to? And that's where they're putting the address in there. Now, for the initial 4,200 validators that first launched, they were all set up to send it to the burn address of 000000369, right? And so that way, when they closed their validators, all of the pulse that they had were sent to that burn address. So yeah, 100% correct on what you're saying right there, which is why it makes sense as to why they stay at 32 million. But again, you can see earning 28 pulse every epoch is not that shabby at all. Go October all day for sure, for sure. Any site you recommend to check hex stakes on Pulse without connecting wallet? I would say without connecting wallet. Well, yeah, give me 1 second here. Good question. I'll come back to that. I'll come back around to that one. ATX, yes, that is what I meant. The transactions I made didn't show there. Interesting. That's so weird. Tried on stream, 30-second trans. Tried it on stream, 30-second transfer. Damn. Damn, that's fast. That's really fast. Super fast, as a matter of fact. Wow, super fast. So let's do some whale watching here and do a quick little gander as to some items on this one and see if we can find that answer out. While that's going on, let's just come back around. I mean, I wasn't trying to monitor the transaction on the transaction bar. Yeah, it's all good. If it happens to disappear, I mean, so as soon as the transaction started, you don't have to remain on the website. Like you don't have to do anything. It'll keep working as it should and as intended for you as well. So you're all good there. Firefighting 82, happy Saturday, ATX. Much love to you, my friend. The balance and select an asset is correct, but not in the box for the bridge. Got it. We had a green monthly on September. Let's rock October. Dude, that is wild, Logi 33. And it's funny that you say that because quite incredible. We have actually had 7 months in a row or 7 years in a row of 7 Septembers being red. And for the first time ever, uh, it actually ended up being green for the month of September. So that was actually pretty interesting. And that's actually a very interesting topic that you bring up. And you can see this is the chart of Bitcoin as well, just from inception 2009. But again, if you just come on back in here, you can see we don't even have September here, but you start on the very first year, we got a red September. And again, I can zoom in on this a little bit. We had that red September here. And again, a year later, red September. A year later, here we go. Oh, here we go. That was a green September. We had one green September. Hey, I was back in, I forgot it was the last 7. So we're going back to 2000 and here we go. Yeah, right here. Right. 17. Okay. Whoops. All right, and this is just a fun little thing that I actually have going on. But yeah, since 2017, red Septembers, red Septembers, red Septembers, red Septembers. And for once, folks, we have finished green September in the last 7 years for Bitcoins being out there. Good stuff. This is very bullish, especially considering that we actually held that level of support right about 25,000 a couple of times as it actually went through and tested the support level. So hopefully we get a quick little double bounce on this and then just move on up to higher, bigger, better ventures. It's almost back up to 28,000 again. In fact, it's already cusped 28,597. It was the local high for the month so far. I'm anticipating that we're going to see this nice little bullish trajectory start happening, just like you see these little curves that start happening over time. It'll be a nice little trend that we'll start seeing. Maybe we end up coming out here and then get a nice little bullish up here. Either way, it still puts the Bitcoin price in the ballpark of about 80 to 100,000, just kind of based on where it's actually sitting right now. And in fact, it could go a little bit higher if it goes longer. So I'm curious to see how that's going to actually play out. What do y'all think on that one? Let me know your comments down below. Do you think we hit 100,000 Bitcoin this bull cycle? Do we hit 150,000 Bitcoin this bull cycle? Or are people just getting too damn smart? Are people getting too damn good with this ideas, knowing of what's going to be coming here in the future? And usually when the market thinks that the majority of folks are thinking one way, the market likes to slap everyone in the face and just say, I'm going the other way. So it always has me kind of curious to think that if most people are shouting and thinking 100,000 Bitcoin, then damn, I don't know if we're going to see it. Most people are saying bear market, then it likes to slap someone in the face and say, here's a bull. And folks, that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. That we're on that precipice between people finally getting out of the bearish energy that we've been in over the last 2 years and moving into a nice little bullish energy, getting past recency bias, letting pumps start becoming a thing again, where you allow and you're excited and elated when you see a 2 to 5x pump. And not even just in meme coins, and not trying to chase the meme coins or play that game, but I'm talking about core solid coins that we're all looking at, which is this pillar system of the RH ecosystem, PulseChain, PulseX, Hex on both chains. So I'm actually very curious to see how it's all going to play out. I think over the span of really the next 6 months, which is how much time we have left until the Bitcoin halvening. In fact, I think we have less time than that as well. Bitcoin, because I know it's in April of 2024, Bitcoin halvening having countdown. There you go. So someone's already got it done to where I can just pull it up and I can actually type it up. So give me 1 second while I actually pull up that next Bitcoin halving date, 2024. Clock down, countdown. There we go. We got a full on. Oh, this doesn't do me an ETA anymore. Oh, it's loading. Okay, hold on. Let me give it a second to load. See if I can get it to do a countdown or not. Either way, guys, this is so freaking bullish on this all. Guys, this is getting to the point in time where, again, if you haven't set up your positions, I'm always a fan of doing a 3-tier entry exit strategy, whatever that possible end up meaning and being for you. So what I'm looking at whenever I'm seeing something like the Bitcoin halving area, which is currently at 200 days, 15 hours, 59 minutes and 42 seconds. So it's anticipated to be on the April 25th of 2024 is when that's going to be getting through. I really wonder how much of a difference this is actually going to make, because in terms of the halving, the way it works is it actually pays the validators or miners, since they're still mining, it pays them half of what they were earning before. So back in the beginning, you heard Richard Hart talk about mining Bitcoin when it was 50 Bitcoin per block or per mine. And then it went down to 25, and then it went down to 12 and a half. And so we're actually coming up again where we're going to be going down once again. So I'm curious as to how that's all going to work, because it was, again, 50 here, right? 25, 12 and a half. And yeah, we're going down to 6, which I wonder how much of a difference that's actually going to make. Is it worth to still be a miner at that point in time? As of now, block reward is 6.25 block, and will decrease to 3.125. Okay, cool. Maybe I was wrong on what I was talking about. When Bitcoin first started, it was 15 Bitcoin per block given as a reward to miners. After that, after every 210,000 blocks are minted. Let me zoom in so that way y'all can all see this as well, because this is good information. Why not share this with everyone? I don't know if y'all are familiar with this, but this is always good information to be sharing with anyone who is always curious. So when Bitcoin first started, 50 Bitcoin per block were given as a reward to miners. After every 210,000 blocks are mined, approximately, which is 4 years, the block reward halves and will keep on halving until the block reward per block becomes 0, which is approximately by the year of 2140. As of now, the block reward is 6.25 coins per block and will decrease to 3.125 coins per block post halving. So what's done? Bitcoin's designed as a deflationary currency like gold, with the premise that over time the issuance of Bitcoin will decrease and thus becoming scarcer over time. As Bitcoin becomes scarcer, and if demand for them increases over time, Bitcoin can be used as a hedge against inflation. Now, this is a fun chart that I just want to kind of showcase. So this is almost how I see like the INC chart playing out as well. And it's very funny how Richard Hart's basing things on a lot of stuff that's been done in the past. But with the INC token, you get 1 ink per second, which is roughly 31 million ink per year. And then in the second year, you're going to get a double the supply. So you'll have 62 million ink that have been minted in 2 years' time. But then after that, it starts getting harder and harder and scarcer and scarcer. So this is kind of what I see with ink. I see it happening to where in the very beginning, you get more tokens coming on the market. And then over time, it's going to be a flat 31 million tokens per year, no matter what. And eventually over time, it's going to do this to the amount of difference it makes with the overall supply that's out there on the market. So again, this is the first year, we'll say, where it doubles. The second year is going to come up here, where again, or third year, we'll say, where it's here. And then now we're getting into the fourth year, fifth year, and it's still 31 million ink per year. And over here, that's going to be out of a total supply of like 150 million ink that's been made so far. So again, it's going to be less and less over time. And then over here, you're going to be like 31 million out of 300 million that's out there. So it's going to be harder and harder to actually attain that ink token. I just wanted to share that with everyone because I think, why not? Good information for people to learn. What up? One up saying, my man, ATX, how you doing, my friend? That would be so dope if EHEX pumped because Ethereum got sharding implemented. Yeah, exactly. It would be really awesome. Also, our first green monthly candle on Pulse and die, which is historic. Wow. Wow, that's a fun fact as well. Logi 33, you were just really hitting it with some fun facts. I haven't fully looked at the candles on monthly yet in our ecosystem, because I just still think that the charts are fairly new. But wow, I mean, you say this, and of course, yes, let's share this. Let's kind of wrap it up. In the month of September, we also had a nice green month in PulseChain ecosystem. What I would love to see is a doji engulfing candle flip. So if we just maintain this as it stands right here and don't really go up or down or anything like that, and then over the span of the next, we'll just say over the span of the next month, so into November, we start doing this little candle and we get this nice little candle form here. That would be super freaking bullish because, again, this is called a doji engulfing candle. When this happens and this pattern plays out, when you see up, line up, my God, get ready for an absolute tear typically. And that's what I can see hopefully playing out. So that means we may end up being pretty still at in the month of October if we haven't fully gotten rid of all the bears that are out there at this point in time. But wow, that is what a freaking awesome chart to be sharing. Logic 33, thank you so much for sharing that information. I have not looked at this on the monthly perspective. I've done daily, I've done weekly, I've done all these different views, but a monthly, wow, that's really freaking cool. And so you can kind of see us hitting that nice little double bottom over here. Let me scoot this over a little bit. Great stuff on this one. Again, on the daily over here, one thing I always love seeing is this nice little 9 EMA, 15 EMA crossing. We crossed back on 16th of September, have been bullish since. And so if you had bought even on this day, again, you'd be up nice little 15% in your money at this point in time if you just waited for that particular day to buy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a freaking awesome thing. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this up right here. Tomorrow, I'm going to do some more Sunday AI stream information. If you like all that AI stuff, feel free to come on back. Feel free to like, share, subscribe to the content. And guys, much love to every single one of the Patreon supporters who have been there. There's been some recent little hiccups that have happened in the streams. And so I just wanted to share everyone. Much love to y'all, guys. Much love to every single one of y'all. It was not my intention to hurt anybody. And so I just wanted to say that once again. Shout out. And again, have a great day. Peace.